Cars coming out on track now. This will be a 40-minute race. This one double the usual time. This 1983 to 2016 Masters Endurance Legends cars. Some spectacular machinery in this one. Really, some of the later model cars, too. We've got cars as late as a 2012 Lola B12. 2011 cars and some more modern cars, probably the newest cars you're going to see out here this weekend.
Yeah, the range for these cars goes from 1983 to 2016 for the class. The Masters Endurance Legend Series is a series of races around the country. This weekend here at Monterey happens to be one of the events that is a part of that series around the country.
Looks like we've got 26 cars scheduled to come out for this event. And they are coming out of the pre-grid area now and forming up on the start-finish straightaway in the racing pit lane. They'll be released from there to go out on track to begin a pace lap and then begin their 40-minute race.
And let's run through the field, because the very first car is a 1999 BMW. It's a V12 LMR, but it's the name that's attached to it which is really significant. Bill Auberlen, who is Mr. BMW, been driving BMWs for so long with so much success. He is going to be racing in this race today at the very front of the field in the very first car. Craig Bennett in a 2012 Lola B1280 right beside him.
In that second row, a familiar name, Spencer Trenery, who almost won the first race today. The second race, actually. No, it was the first race, because we had the Trans Am cars next. Number 15, Spencer Trenery in a 2006 Riley 11 Daytona. Travis Engen in that all-conquering 2005 Audi R8 LMP. Car number 2 is next.
Mark Brandon in a 2001 Riley and Scott. Mark III, Steven Zacchi in a 2002 Ferrari 550 GT1.
Moulin Crass in car 112. That's a 1999 Panos LMP car. Thornton and Hoyt in car 88, 1983 March 83G.
David Lockwood in a 2013 Orica FLM 09. John Edwards in a 2001 BMW M3 GTR.
Lauren Beggs drives the 2004 Porsche 996 RSR. That's car 45. With John McKenna next in car 10, the 2005 Riley Daytona prototype.
A couple of Corvettes behind. Rob Morgan in a 2000 Chevy Corvette, followed by Tony Garmy in a 2003 Corvette.
Car number 33, Kovacevic, and the 2001 Porsche GT3, 1996 Ford Mustang, driven by John Cavanaugh in car 21.
Scooter Gable, a 1997 BMW M3. Christopher Frank is also there in a 2000 Porsche GT3R.
Car 56, De Phillippi, and the 2011 BMW M3 GT, a 1982 Mirage M12, Tom Dooley driving. That's car 27.
Les Whirling in a 1999 Camaro. Roberts in a 2013 Audi R8 LMS.
Hagen Atkinson in car 08, a 2011 Oreca FLM 09, and Merriman and Tilley in car 38, 1991 Nissan NPT 90.
And the field is rounded out by Joyner and Long in a 2000 Lola B2K10 and George Crass in a 2003 Chevrolet Corvette. And once again, this class is the 1983 to 2016 Masters Endurance Legends. And it's such a great opportunity to see some of the greatest cars that we've seen over the last 30 years back out on the track. Once again, the latest cars going all the way up eligibility through 2016.
Looks like they're getting a second pace lap. Double stand in yellow being displayed at start-finish. Lots of tire scrubbing going on as these drivers are trying to get heat into those tires.
That number 27, the blue car, that's the Mirage going around. I was actually, that was when a gentleman by the name of Harley Cluxton, who owns a company called Grand Touring Cars, owned the Mirage name and was putting that car together with a guy named John Horseman. John Horseman used to work with John Wire, so John Wire was a part of the project, John Horseman was a part of the project, and that particular car was designed to race at Le Mans. And whoa, we've got to spin the number 93 car.
That's Christopher Frank in the 2000 Porsche GT3R.
warming up the tires, swinging side to side just a little more than he probably should have, and as a result, spins it sideways. Fortunately, no harm, no foul, and no one got into him, so that's a great thing. They were going slow enough that it wasn't a big issue and everybody else could get out of the way. To finish up the story about that Mirage, Michael and Mario Andretti were to be driving that car together at Le Mans. This would be the father-son pairing for the first time, that number 27 Mirage that you see right there. When they got there, everything was ready. They qualified well. They're on the grid, getting ready to start the race. And the FIA officials came up and said, your oil cooler is 2 inches too far to the side, and they disqualified the car on the grid. Mario Andretti, Michael Andretti scheduled to run together, and the car was disqualified.
That's incredible. Did they ever pair up in a car? I know they wanted to for a long time. I don't think they ever did.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know that they've ever done an endurance race together. They both had amazing careers. Obviously, Mario Andretti, the legend. Michael Andretti, you know, people will always point out, well, he never won Indy 500, but he won just about everything else. He didn't have a great foray into Formula One when he was Senna's teammate, but having said that, he had a truly incredible career as a race car driver, and more importantly, has had an amazing career as a team owner in the IndyCar series. Those Indy 500 victories he couldn't get as a driver, well, he got them as a team owner.
Pace car lights are out. Means we should be going green. Look for the pace car to exit before they get down into turn 11. What a front row. Oberlin in that BMW V12 and Bennett in the Lola B12. Great pair of cars. They're coming on up. Pace car is off. We're looking for a green flag.
And Oberlin, the true racer, took the line, easily moved up the hill and had the position. And now it looks like Spencer Trenery may be moving into second place. Oh, no. For a moment, it looked like he was going to get the inside of Craig Bennett, but Bennett had a little more horsepower going up the hill, and as a result, he was able to hold on in that number 30 2012 Lola.
I love the graphics on that Lola, black with the green trim on the edges of it. Just a spectacular car, and very quick as well. Trenery tucks in behind.
And we've got a spin with Craig Bennett in that 2012 Lola B1280 as he was trying to come out of that Andretti complex, spun it right around, and it looks like he may have stalled it. He's got one wheel off in the dirt, and he is dead in the water right now.
That's the same place that Porsche RSR spun on the warm-up lap. The exit of 2002 Ferrari 550 GT1. Then it's the Thornton Hoyt March, car 88. John Edwards in car 6, the BMW M3 GTR.
And a good battle on the track right now between the cars we were just talking about. That's the number 77 car being driven by Mark Brannon, and the number 86, the 2002 Ferrari 550 that is being driven by Steven Zacchi as they go up the hill. And it looks like the Ferrari may get the better of that prototype.
We'll watch for that as they go through, and I think he has made the pass as they start to come down through the corkscrews. So 77 car drops one more spot, and Zacchia moves into fourth in that number 86 Ferrari. Let's keep our eye on Travis Engen, too, in that number 2 2005 Audi R8 LMP. That is a very fast automobile.
And interestingly enough, the car that is in 6, you see it right there, that's the sort of the white and blue car. That's a 1983 March 83G. We just see it coming up, the number 88 car. That is probably one of the oldest cars, if not, I guess the Mirage, the 82 Mirage would be the oldest. But it's interesting looking at the styling and aerodynamic changes from 1983 in that number 88 car, the white and blue with the red patches on the side. And he is being hounded right now by a 2000 Lola B2K10.
Yeah, that's a great battle for 6th through about 9th between Thornton Hoyt and that 88 March you were talking about. Then the Joyner Long Lola car 18, John Edwards 6, the BMW M3, and De Phillippi in the 56 BMW M3. They are all running very close together and side by side, jockeying for position as they head up the hill.
And Thornton in that car, the number 88 is moved down, while Joyner, turbocharger. But it's amazing when you were looking at what Audi was able to do during that era. Up there right now, we've got a Porsche still behind that number 88 car, the March 83G, that That BMW that is right behind it is a BMW M3 GTR, followed by a Porsche 996 RSR, and then we've got a Corvette at the tail end of that 4-car pack.
Yeah, a pair of Corvettes. Garmy in the number 53 car, 11th, and Rob Morgan in 64, 2000 Chevrolet Corvette running in the 12th spot.
And there we've got a pass. That BMW M3 taking on Mark Brandon right there, the number 88 car, I should say, of Thornton. And it's the John Edwards BMW M3 that has taken that position away.
Moved up to 8th spot overall.
It's interesting. They're showing the passing flag for these guys going through. It's like, I don't think anybody's ready to give up any positions at this moment in time.
That's one flag you don't want to see.
Oh, we've got some smoke coming out of the back of that number 88 car. That's the car being driven by Thornton, that 1983 March 83G. It'll be interesting to see if he's got a problem or just burning a little oil.
As you had mentioned earlier, that's the second oldest car out there. There's one 82 model car, but that 83 is second oldest. Still doing a very great job running, looked like 9th overall the last time we looked. That's a 1983 March 83G car 88. Looking shot of the car now, looks clean going up in that corner.
Looking at the back of the number 88 car, I'm going to assume he was just under a downshift. He had a little bit of smoke coming out the back, but right now he looks to be clean, and that's really what matters. Meanwhile, Bill Oberlin has pretty much completely checked out at this point. The last lap, he had a 23-second lead, which had slowly but surely built up. In fact, the previous lap had been an 18-second lead. And I think now he's in a situation where he's probably looking at closer to probably well, in fact, it's a 24-second lead.
And Craig Bennett continues to work his way up through the field, now in 16th spot in that number 30 2012 Lola B1280. He's continually working his way up. A couple more laps, he'll probably be in the top 10, but the further up you get, the harder it is to pass because those cars obviously are quicker.
Well, Lauren Beggs is in a 2004 Porsche 996 RSR, and he is working hard to catch up to that number 88 car, the 1983 March 83G. And that's what's so great about these races. Markers, and as we've seen in earlier races, that might affect things.
Oberlin with the 30-second lead over Trenery, who in turn has 7 seconds over the third-place car of Long. Then it's another 15 back to Engen, and he's got less than a second ahead of Zacchia. Those are the top 5 cars. Oberlin, the BMW, Trenery, the Daytona prototype, Long in the Lola car 18, then Engen in the Audi, Zacchia in the Ferrari 86.
And it's interesting to think of the concept of racing and the way these cars, when they were designed, these were all endurance cars. You know, they were running Sebring, they were running Daytona, they were running Le Mans, they were running the endurance races. And this is a 40-minute sprint race. Different concept, different style, different way of racing, totally different in terms of what they're trying to achieve. And there is Bill Oberlin. That is the leader, the number 42 car, the white BMW from 1999. And he's now having to work his way through the back markers. And you can see that he is about to come up and put a lap on the number 88 car being driven by Hoyt. And that is currently the 9th place car. So Bill Oberlin has reached the point where he is lapping the 9th place car on the track.
And Bennett in that number 30 Lola that started up in the front is now up to 14th spot. And the next cars that he's going to encounter to pass are the Corvettes of Tony Garmy, number 53, and Rob Morgan, number 64.
Bill Oberlin waves at the BMW that he went by right there. That's the one being driven by John Edwards. I think Bill Oberlin only has one speed, and that's fast. It doesn't matter whether he's in a modern race car or whether he's in a historic race car.
Puff of smoke out of that BMW. Looks like he locked up a wheel and braking in turn 2. Turn signal on.
Yeah, he is totally in control of this race. He has been from the very start. The guy who might have challenged him, Craig Bennett, unfortunately spun at the beginning as a result. And in fact, Craig Bennett was up to 14th, and he's now being shown back in 16th. So for whatever reason, he may have had another problem and dropped back just a couple of positions. So Craig Bennett not likely to be able to move up and challenge at the very top of the field. He's already been lapped, as a matter of fact.
We'll keep our eye on Bennett's progress, and right now, as you mentioned, he dropped back 2 spots and being passed by Lauren Beggs in the Porsche 996R. Scooter Gable in the BMW M3, and trying to continue to work his way through.
Go by and not challenge and not have to worry about it.
Bennett now back up to 14th, and after that stop, let's see if he can continue his progress toward the front.
And that's the number 56 car being driven by De Phillippi. It's a 2011 BMW M3 coming up under the bridge right now as it goes underneath. That car currently is back about midway through the pack. Once again, you see cars exiting the pits right there, coming out right beside as they go through that turn complex.
Yeah, that De Phillippi BMW is running 10th overall at the moment. De Phillippi and Plasinski, car 56. Oberlin comfortably in front, as you mentioned. He only has 1 speed, and that's fast, so he's certainly not backing off as he's continuing to drive that car to its potential. And one of the BMWs using his windshield wiper as he goes through turn 5 and starts climbing the hill up toward the corkscrew.
You know, I mentioned that Oberlin was born in Germany. I think his family was. He was actually born in Redondo Beach. So I always thought of him as a Southern California guy, and that's exactly what he is. So his career started in the 1970s. He actually started as a motocross driver. Then he was able to move up into IMSA's GTU series back in the late 80s. He stayed there for about a decade or so, ultimately winning the GTU championship. And from there, he went on to a number of things. He also had one really intriguing thing he did, which was in 1996, he was the Peruvian Formula 3 champion. How's that for a little bit of a left turn during your career?
How's that for some esoteric trivia? I have not followed Portuguese Formula 3 racing for a long time.
Peruvian.
I'm sorry. Began with a P. That's okay.
Exactly. He briefly ran in the prototype series, the Grand Am series.
BMW V12 LMR car 42, Trenery second in the Riley Daytona car 15, and the Joyner Long Lola shown in third at the moment, car 18.
Watching a battle on the track right now. This is the number 53 car being driven by Tony Garmi. It's a 2003 Corvette, and right behind him is Rob Morgan driving a 2000 Corvette. That's the yellow and blue car. So that battle is for position on the track. Those 2 Corvettes that are going after each other for 11th and 12th place right now.
And amazingly, Craig Bennett now shown in 6th spot in car 30. Now we know he has made a pit stop. We saw his car in the pits earlier. So from here on in, he could be sprinting to the finish. It's going to turn out to be an interesting second half of the race. Great comeback by Bennett if he's not going to stop again from, I think he dropped to 21st because there were 21 cars running, and now worked his way back almost into the top 5. And if he gets by the De Phillippi Plasinski BMW, he will be in 5th spot, and he's right behind them at the moment. Bennett in the 30 Lola, the De Phillippi Plasinski BMW car 56.
There we're watching the Joyner car. It's the long car, the number 18. What a great day. What a great victory for him. Has never done well at Le Mans. That's probably the only thing that probably bugs Bill Oberlin. He's never gotten a podium, never gotten a victory at Le Mans, but everywhere else he's raced, he's done well. More importantly, he's had such a great career.